All right, here we are in round 4 of our practice league. We're playing PO. We're practicing for the Vintage Playoffs this weekend. We've good start so far. Let's see if we can keep it up. Yeah, that's a keeper. So, what we'd really like to find here is a blue card for Force of Will. The way I'm going to sequence this is it still needs to be top first because the Mana Vault is more important, which is unfortunate. But if it does resolve, then what we can do is spin our top, and if there's a blue card, we can not activate our top. 7. So there's another force there. Oh, those cards are not the best draws, unfortunately. So I'm gonna cast PO and not activate our top. The downside to that is when we activate our top, we'll lose it. We'll only draw 3, but we will resolve our PO. Is it worth? Hard to say, but with the cards currently in our top 3, probably. I wonder if we want to just activate it. If we draw 3 cards, including our top, we will draw just the cards we know about, which are not very good. I'm actually going to after all of that, I am actually just going to hold priority and cast PO. The reason being is the 3 cards we would draw is like actually not good enough. And I still am going to draw Force of Will off the top, so I would still be able to have Force of Will after all of that. So that's my reasoning for that. I guess I can use a blue here in case I see a Mentor. Oh, that's a good card. So I'm actually going to probably make the Hercules play here. Unless I want to do... Yeah. So I'm going to activate top, hold priority, cast Hercules, target myself. So I believe... Oh, yo, what up, J-Bro? Long time no see. How's it going? So I'm actually 1 short of going for 2 blue spells here. So we're going to look for a PO on top. There's a repeal on top. Unfortunate. Alright, so we're just going to leave the repeal on top and pass the turn. So we actually fizzled off there, but we have such overwhelming card advantage. Next turn we can do something like Yagwa's Will or whatever. It'll be fine. What have you been up to, J-Bro? What's new? How's life? Beautiful struggle? That's pretty poetic. More than likely, what we're going to do is just Mystical on our upkeep and put a PO on the top of our library and then go again. Our opponent decided that for what we've shown them, it's better for them to concede and not show us what they're playing than for them to try to win, which I think is a 100% correct decision. I think that it's very, very unlikely for the PO player to lose after they've gone through 16 cards in the first turn. So we have no idea what our opponent's playing. And MTG bot didn't give us any hints, so I'm not going to go look it up. We should board... How should we board? I'm not sure. Sure, but I think We could board like no forces. I think the safest board plan is to take one of these lands and put in a Caracas. This hedges against some of the more powerful answers to PO, but doesn't hurt us too badly. I think it's also reasonable to maybe board in a Flusterstorm, but I don't know. Not knowing our opponent, I think I would just like to have a Caracas, because they know what we're doing, and then I think that's where we're going to leave it. I think non-interactive is right. So, we've got Library on the draw. We have a couple of mana. Pop, Force. Yeah, this is going to be a keeper. So, Library on the draw, obviously not good against a certain subset of decks. We'll have to see if our opponent is on one of those subsets. So, if we end up having to force a will on turn 1, we don't really have that bad of a hand. We have blue card, Pop, Emerald. The Colossus is a little awkward to have in hand versus Shops, though. So it is Shops. Maxwell, 143, thanks for the follow. You are the 401st follower, or the 402nd. I can't tell. Oh, congratulations. You win nothing. Oh yeah, that's certainly a card worth forcing. So this game's gonna be quite difficult, but our opponent is on 3 cards after this, so not impossible. Yikes. That's a strong hand. Ah, well, that's a problem. So I wish our opponent, yeah, it's a 5-3. There's obviously some incentive there to not force that card, but you want to force that. This is post board. So our opponent made a very, very correct decision. Our opponent scooped to us before showing us what they were on. And what that does is it means we didn't board in 3 Hurkyl's Recall, which is quite good for our opponent. A 1/1 is fine. I'm going to get on this library. I'm not going to get on this library. Alright. I should have played the top out, though. That was kind of dumb not to play the top out. I don't know why. Oh, no, I didn't play the top out because I wanted to get on library. Duh. Can't even think of what old me is thinking. Alright. So we're going to start playing cards out now before they get taxed. Our opponent is on nothing and a 1/1, though, so this game is not over. Because we were able to force this Lodestone Golem, we removed their biggest clock. So although we're locked a little bit, soft locked per se, we still can win because they're not clocking us. As a 1/1. 1/1 Ballista, probably. Our opponent is playing a lot of 1/1s. Jealous. Yep. So that's fine. That's fine. I mean, we're currently not doing anything either. Our opponent is now on a we're now on a 9-turn clock. We have 2 repeals and a Hurkyl's in the main to deal with an O-Rod. Another 1/1. I can appreciate some 1/1 tribal. If nothing else happens next turn, I'm very likely to Yawgmoth's Will and just get a land. It's going to be very important for us to keep getting lands. Oh, found another spell. Our opponent has drawn 0 lands. They've drawn only 1/1s. This probably shouldn't be in the deck post-board. I'm going to hold the Ruby. Just in case we draw Mentor. I'm going to get, actually, I could go get, I'm so far from library. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go get an Underground Sea and then just get the Flooded Strand so I have a white source. I also have Brainstorm, with Flooded Strand. I can put this, Play Steal away. So very unfortunate for us, our opponent didn't draw lands, they instead drew creatures. So now this is a 3-turn clock. Which could be a problem for sure. We still have this Merchant Scroll for Hercules. We have a lot of things happening still, so. We have 2 draws. Hopefully we can make them count. Our opponent drew another creature. They drew even better than a creature. They drew a Sphere Resistance. Quite strong. Quite strong. Pretty unfortunate for us that our opponent didn't give us more time. But now we're probably going to die. So we have 1 draw here, but even that doesn't really unlock us. The only draw that unlocks us is a Hercules Recall, which we'll have to draw naturally, so. I thought we were actually going to be in pretty good shape this game, but our opponent drew too many 1/1s, so we died. Yeah, that's quite unfortunate. I didn't really think that we were that far behind in this game. There are certainly a lot of dead draws in PL once a no rod happens. Professor Top Hat, thank you for the follow. So we're going to bring in all of our lands. We're going to bring in all of our Hercules. We're going to bring in our Fragmentize. I'm not convinced that we want balance in this matchup. No, Krakus stays in. I think you want as many lands as possible. So what comes out is Night Whispers and Preordains and Probe and Will and Dig, and we're gonna have to put some things back in. We can put back in Dig and Preordain. I actually think you're supposed to bring in Krakus, just another land. We could always cut the Dig or Preordain and play the balance as well. I actually kind of like that idea a little bit. Try that. So we are a little bit light on what blue spells for Force, but so be it. We'll run with this. I think of all the PO decks, we should have the best Shops matchup. Being on the playing game 3 is certainly strong. Definitely going to keep this. I'm going to fetch for a basic island and cast Ancestral Recall. So, fetch, island, Ancestral. We're going to play this Mock so that we don't have to discard a card, and we're going to pass their turn. So we found a bunch of lands and not much else, but we do have a Ponder next turn to help us find some action. We have a Tolarian to give us a huge burst of mana later. 2 Hercules, Force of Will. We're in a good spot. Our opponent did still find a Workshop draw. I always let this Inspector resolve, I think. And definitely a Ravager. No Sphere effect is good for us. This is just a clock that we can always time walk with Hercules Recall. Let's cast. Oh, not that. Not that. Yeah, let's cast Ponder. We're looking for a Moxen. Huh. This is fine. So we're gonna go get Tinker Blightsteel. Yeah, good for us. I'll just play out this Caracas. Actually, we don't really have to get Tinker Blightsteel. We can actually just get Vampiric for Tinker, Tinker away the Mana Crypt for a key. Should win this game in 2 turns. Plus, we still have Hercules Recall. It's likely I'm going to cast Hercules Recall at the end of turn here, just as a big time walk effect. Sure, absolutely. Wasteland, sure. I'm glad we didn't play any of our other lands. Hopefully they play something here. Yep, awesome. Will they be able to replay one Ravager? No, there's really no reason to cast Circles here, so I'm not going to. So if we play Academy, we'll have enough for Force and Hercules, right? I still don't really see the reason to play Academy here. So obviously next turn what we're going to do is we're going to Vampiric. I'm going to definitely Hercules in the middle of combat here. The reason being I need to preserve our life total. We can lose 3 life from Mana Crypt, 2 life from Vampiric, and then 3 life from Mana Crypt again before we can Tinker. So we don't want to take that damage there. They're going to be able to replay everything out, but that's fine. Because they're not going to get another turn. So, upkeep, Vampiric. I guess we actually were only going to take 5 damage total, but always get Tinker here so that you can Tinker away the Mana Crypt. We went down to 6, so definitely was still worth bouncing. And then we take infinite turns. I'll take Key, untaps Time Vault. And we take infinite turns. We also had Force of Will for our Revoker too, which is pretty sweet. So we don't have a Mana Crypt anymore, so there's nothing we can die to. So we just have to keep taking turns until we find something to kill our opponent with. Let's just Hercules Recall them for fun. So bear with me while I take enough turns to find something that kills our opponent. Our opponent has decided they would not like to concede. Alright, that's a lot of fetch lands. This deck a little bit. Nice. Do that. Don't say things like that. How you jinx it? Oh my lord, can I please find a creature that attacks in the next 17 minutes? I don't know, what do you think, chat? You think we're gonna find it? Oh my god, we drew another fetch land. We don't even have anything left to fetch in our deck. There it is. Get a Blightsteel. I'll end this thing real quick. Yeah, we could attack him with Snapcaster Mage, but all your time is more worth it to me. All right. Is it BM to concede there? Yes, I think so. Our opponent knows that we have creatures in our deck, and there's 17 minutes on the clock, so it's really a waste of his time too. So I think you're wasting both players' time. Now, he's perfectly allowed to not concede there. I think it's just dumb. Maybe they didn't think we had... I mean, it's not unreasonable if your logic is, I don't know that they have creatures left in their deck. But for me to not have Blightsteel in my deck after seeing Tinker would be pretty ambitious or naive, or I don't know, some adjective.